Well, the weather outside is, well, weather. Anyways, I hope everyone is having a great weekend, rest and relaxation, hanging out with the fam, or you're working on the weekend. Make that money, boo-boo. But nevertheless, I need to show you exactly what to do in the game right now and exactly how I did this week 1 of the new season. So farm this now. Don't sleep on the new brand set. Get these items, get these blueprints. I'm about to show you everything. So get those notepads out. Here we go. What's going on, YouTube? Kamikazevondoom here with another Division 2 video. So sit back, relax, grab that popcorn. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. And finally, shout out where you're from. It's cool to see where everyone is from, but that's right. Farm this now, do this now, get these items now, and in this exact combination. Are you ready? Here we go. So this is the very first week of the brand new season, the Division 2 Mutiny. So Mutiny is Year 7, Season 3. Now we have, what is this, 15 weeks left on this season, so we are still well into week 1, and we have the brand new brand set and named items. Now, first, we'll talk about the brand set, and then we'll talk about the named items. I'll tell you what combinations to get, how to get them, and why, okay? This video is a complete dissection of unit alloys and the 2 named items and exactly why you need to farm these specific items. Because it's not all 6. I'm only going to show you which 5 to get and why. So starting with the brand set itself, right? What makes this brand set so special? Well, this is, out of the gate, one of the best brand sets in the game because it makes your weapon shoot faster. If you have an assault rifle, it makes it hit a hell of a lot harder. And if you run the 3-piece, you get 50% magazine size, which is better than things like True Patriot or, other brand sets. So the thing about this is right out the gate, you're getting double assault damage. So the assault rifle damage typically on a brand set is 10%. So right off the bat, you're getting double. Now the magazine size, yeah, Brazos de Arquebus also has that same magazine size, but all the other ones don't. They're all typically lower. So that 50% magazine size is very big. Now, not only that, but rate of fire. This is the only brand set in the game. The only brand set in the game to give you rate of fire. Rate of fire is very strong in the game because that increases your DPS, your burst DPS, and that helps you destroy whatever content is in front of you. But wait, there's more, because these 2 named items are out of the gate top tier named items as well. So not only do we get Perfect Obliterate, a new fan favorite just day 1, but then we also get the surprisingly strong holster, the Salvo or the Salvo, whatever, I don't care. Now, yes, the developers did nerf this holster from the PTS to the live game. It was an attribute of 8% rate of fire, and they did lower that to 5, but still, just by running the holster by itself, you're getting 10% rate of fire on any weapon that you're using. So typically you might have a St. Elmo's engine that's around like 850 RPM, right? Well, now it's at 935. So just shy of 1,000 RPM, and that's just standard. No, buffs, no building up stacks, no anything. Just right out the gate, more and faster firepower. Now, the cool thing about this is you can craft all of these day 1. I'll show you exactly how to do that. Now, I know the first question might be, well, Kami, why are you only showing us 5? Because you don't need to farm the 6th. The 6th piece you can use for a plug-and-play method, if you will. So, for example, you have Fenris right here, right? 10% assault rifle damage for the 1 piece. If you match that up with unit alloys, you get even more assault rifle damage, right? Pretty much no-brainer. Where you would typically go with like maybe Walker Harris, now Fenris is going to look very nice to go up with unit alloys. That way you get your base damage even higher. Now, there's even better options out there. You have the Memento, right? You have the Ninja Bike. You have other backpacks, such as maybe like the Matador or the Gift. There's quite a few, different backpack combinations you could run with unit alloys. Not only that, but remember it's a brand set, right? So 3 items max for a brand set. And if you're using the Ninja Bike, you only need 2 of the items, right? To get all 3 brand set bonuses. So you're not even going to need all 5 of these. The reason why I farm this way and the reason why I got these 5 items and I'm only going to get these 5 items is because these are universal for any build combination. So I can sit here and go with a perfect obliterate build. I could sit there and go with a rate of fire build. I could, just use these 2 with the Ninja Bike, and then I can match it up with Contractors and Foxes, or maybe I could put on the Coyotes Mask, or the Catharsis, or maybe even the Overdogs. What this does is it makes it universal for whatever type of build I want to go with. Now, the cool thing about this is all of these, all you have to do is farm or craft double crit. So double crit is going to be your best friend with unit alloys. So hear me out. You get double crit for your bottom attributes, and then you can change the top attribute to armor. You go to the holster, you'd be looking for either crit chance or crit damage, depending on your build. But unit alloys, outside of like a rate of fire build, you typically want to run with an assault rifle because of that high assault rifle buff. Now with that, perfect obliterate. Now this one, perfect obliterate as a one piece would be amazing for things like striker builds or maybe even high-end crit builds, what have you. Now remember, running this just with the holster by itself gives you the opportunity to run a whole bunch of different combinations. Let me just plug and play really quick. So here's just a random combination right here. So perfect obliterate, vigilance, catharsis, contractors, foxes with the new holster. So then my St. Elmo's is at a 935 RPM with a high base damage, 1.2 million armor. This is pretty crazy. Very strong. Now, not only that, but you can see even without the mods, I'm already at 49 crit chance. So then it'd be very easy to make this max crit to go with the perfect obliterate. So you can start to see how this combination makes it universal for, whatever type of build that it is we're looking for. Now, with that, we could also, let's see another good combination here. We could probably go, Memento. We could even go Turmoil and then use unit alloys for those 2. Maybe switch it up, go Contractors here. And then we could go like Hollow Man here. That would be pretty crazy. Or even, hey, or even go an armor damage and go Walker Harris with the Contractors, Turmoil, perfect obliterate, and the RPM. You can start to see where this is going to get very deadly very fast. And then with the Turmoil, now we're already looking at max crit chance with that increase to rate of fire and perfect obliterate. So you can start to see where no matter how we turn it, these combinations are going to get very strong very, very fast. Now, another cool one a lot of people were talking about, and I showed during the PTS, would be using it with Brazos. Because remember, Brazos, if you are running 2 pieces with it with the unit alloys, you could get the 3 skill tiers, you could get 100% magazine size, and you could get all of that extra armor all at the same time. Let me see if I can put a Brazos mask on really quick. Let's see here. And boop ba doop ba doop ba doop boop boop boop. Come on! Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Yo, where even is Brazos? There we go. Brazos. So then what you would do is you would do Ninja Bike, Brazos, unit alloys. And now we have a St. Elmo's engine with 140 rounds in the magazine. We have a Dark Winter with 90 rounds in the magazine. I mean, come on. A pestilence with 200 rounds in the magazine. And that's with perfect obliterate. Oh, and 1.6 million armor. I mean, come on. It's going to be endless the amount of amazing combinations we can use with unit alloys. Now, a lot of you might be like, okay, Kami, you made your point. You made your point. We get it. Get unit alloys. We get it. We get it. But how do we get all of these items, and how do you get them all with double crit like this? And within the first week of the new season, nevertheless. Well, here's the trick, all right? Here's some insider trading or whatever, whatever you want to say. So here's the tip. Go and get all of your reconstructed caches, okay? Every season, your reconstructed cache resets, or doesn't reset, but they add named items to them. So what do I mean? Reconstructed cache, you can get them in two different areas. You can get them from the crafting station, or you can get them from Descent. So here we are at Descent. I don't know anyone that even plays Descent, but if you do have extra Descent tokens, you can buy the reconstructed cache. Now, what this does is it gives you a random named item, but then it gives you a guaranteed named item blueprint. And if you have all of the named item blueprints, it will then not give you any more. And then the next season, it will only give you the new ones. Because every season, the developers add 2 weapon named item blueprints and 2 gear item blueprints. So that would be the 2 perfect immobilize weapons. That would be the new perfect obliterate and the new holster, right? So how do you get them over here in the crafting station? I just showed you how to get the reconstructed cache from Descent, but how do you get the reconstructed cache from the crafting station? Well, if you go to the bottom right, it'll say exotics, all right? And then if you scroll all the way down, you will get to these 2 caches, okay? The first one is New York Kill Squad cache, and the next one is reconstructed cache. So while you're doing your retaliations, you will gain broken shade watches. Now, if you farm retaliations enough, you'll get enough broken shade watches to convert over to reconstructed caches. So if you do this, 4 times every season, right? So if you do this, and that's only if you are caught up with the blueprints. So let me show you what it looks like. So I might not have any more, so it might just be blank right here. Okay. So it just shows you a named item with no blueprint. And the reason for that is I already have them. So we have the new, it's a new vector, the froth. Okay, so here's the blueprint for that. We have the new shotgun, right? The lockdown. But more importantly, check this out. We have the chess piece, the equalizer. So the equalizer is the brand new chess piece with perfect obliterate. And then you have the new named holster, the salvo, and there you go. You have all of them, and you can just craft it. And while you are going through your new season, you will get the new unit alloys blueprints for all of the other items that you need. So you can technically craft all of the items I'm showing you here. So if you scroll all the way down, yep, I crafted the holster. I looted the knee pads. Ayo. I crafted the gloves. I was rewarded the mask. Very nice. And I crafted the chess piece. Now, the next thing would be, well, how do you get unit alloy pieces if you haven't farmed them yet? There's 2 ways of doing that, okay? 2 ways. So one is you just change the targeted loot on Summon or Countdown to unit alloys, which is the last on the brand set options. So you could change them all to unit alloys and farm countdown for a little bit and just deconstruct all of those items. And then you will have unit alloy items or, pieces to put together to craft. Or, I'm going to show you the easy way. So here's how I got all of my unit alloy pieces together. That way I could craft. Now, this is the same method that I typically show people for y'all gear whenever that does roll around. And I'm only going to show you this method right now because it is the first week of the new season, and a lot of people still don't have enough items to even craft their own unit alloys build. So I'm going to show you. Uh-oh, I just got deltaed going to Brooklyn. What the fuck? After a few loading screens, let's see if it will finally put me into Brooklyn. Nope, it didn't even put me into Brooklyn. Yeesh! Alright, let me show you how to do this. So right now, for this week only, and this applies to everyone until, what, Tuesday. So, what day is Tuesday? The 9th. So if you're watching this after the 9th, you're not going to be able to do this method with this vendor. However, for everyone else beforehand, check this out. Once it finally loads us in, there we go. Entering safe area. All right, so if you go to the Brooklyn vendor, and this is only until Tuesday because remember of the weekly reset. But over here at the bridge settlement, we have the vendor Marcus. So Marcus is selling at the very bottom a unit alloys mask. Now, if you buy a unit alloys mask and deconstruct it, check this out. It gives you a unit alloy material. Now, for every 3 unit alloy materials, you can craft a unit alloy item. So that is how I was able to craft enough of them to get double crit on all of the items I need to make them all armor cores. Now, the reason why I kept Perfect Obliterate all red is because I am actually going to be using that with all red at all times. Even so, here's another thing, another tip. When it comes to build making, right? When you go all red, you're sacrificing too much. When you're going all blue, you're sacrificing too much. So what I do is I keep one all red, and then I keep the other ones with the option to go blue. So you can see that my only all red is the chest piece, and all the other ones are blue. And that way, if I want to go all reds, I can, but it is smarter to go one blue or one red whenever you're doing like a damage build or a tank build. That way you can still have some sort of synergy, right? Some sort of balance. Because when you go all blues, you're going to be, just shooting marshmallows. If you go all reds, then you're going to be, very, very, very squishy and easy to kill. So you do this and you put a little bit, just dabble a little bit, like 1.8 million armor is perfect. In my mind, this is the optimal armor that you need for a tank build. 1.8 million armor, I have enough armor to face tank, get my obliterate stacks up, and then melt my enemy. Makes sense to me. But if I ramp that up to 2 million armor or 2.1 million armor, yeah, I do have time to get my stacks up, but even by the time I get my stacks up, I'm not even hitting that hard, so then, what's the point? So what I typically do is I'll go all crit for all of the items. I'll go one all red, which in this case it would be Perfect Obliterate. That way I can throw this with Umbra, Heartbreaker, Striker, maybe a crit build. Who knows? I'm going to be throwing this on a lot of builds. And that's the whole reason why I farm it this way, because now I have the option to put these with any builds that I want, with any combination I want. And I just leave out the backpack, because the backpack, that gives you the option of going for anything, really. I mean, from the Matador, the Gift, to exotics like the Ninja Bike, the Memento, or even just go Fenris for more assault rifle damage. But there's a lot of ways of doing this. And that's why I'm saying hey, farm unit alloys now, farm it the way that I'm showing you, and then that way you can make dozens of builds with the same items. It makes everything super easy, and then that way, by the time you max it out and put it in your stash, you can put whatever combination you want and have all of those items at your fingertips. So again, Farm Countdown, Summit, what have you, unit alloys as targeted loot, or you can craft it by picking up items from Brooklyn, deconstructing them, and then crafting your own. You can also get those blueprints from the seasonal reward track and the named item blueprints from either Descent or the reconstructed caches from the crafting station or Descent. But that's it. I hope that was enough information. I mean, I tried to do that one as quick as I could, but hey, that Delta kind of put me in a loop, and then hey, yeah, we kind of spiraled down here. But I hope you enjoyed the journey. I'm Kamikazevondoom. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out and happy farming.